Y'all ready for this?
We have a packed show. Headlines, rookie recaps, fantasy, one-on-one segment, and the crazy stat of the week. I'm really excited. It's getting closer to the NFL season. So, Dylan, why don't you take us away with the headlines?
Yeah, so this is one of those weeks where there's not as many headlines, but I'm going to start us off with Indy. We got Frank Reich was extended through 2026. Do you guys think this was the right move? A little premature? What are we thinking here?
I'm like indifferent on Frank Reich. I think he's like a good coach, but I would have given him 24 or 25. I don't know about all the way through 26. That's like damn near, you don't even know what your team's going to look like. I mean, they can fire him, but I don't know.
To be honest, I do like what they're doing, keeping the top of their organization, steady for whatnot. Chris Ballard's been great at drafting. Frank Reich's good head coach. Don't fix what's not broken. So that's all I got to say.
I feel like, look, as far as I'm concerned, Frank Reich's already a Super Bowl winning head coach, and I'm throwing a little bit of shade. So it's kind of like, I think the Colts have one of the best head coaches in the league, and I think he's already proved that he can. I mean, look, you've given him subpar quarterbacks, and he's still made winning teams. Once he gets his guy, he's going to be like, he even have his guy really in Philly, and he was making it work. MVPs out of Carson. Man, this dude's the truth. And Frank Reich's going to be a head coach for a long time. That's in my opinion.
No, I do think, like you said, Hunter, it was a little bit on the longer end of an extension, but they have their team. They have a good roster. He is a fantastic coach, so I don't necessarily mind it, but it is a little bit long for not having won anything significant there. All right, next up, I feel like no one's been talking about him, and I guess he was going through a whole lot, but Denzel Mims had food poisoning and lost 20 pounds. I'm actually going to kick this over to Dobbs because that's his guy and he knows the full story here, but that was an interesting thing to happen.
Yeah, so Denzel Mims has been my guy, and one of my buddies, Max, shout out Max, if you're listening by chance. Shout out to Max. But this motherfucker sent me some shit where he was talking about Denzel Mims was going to be cut, and I was really concerned because obviously, I was hyping up Denzel Mims hard this whole offseason last year, and so I see he's going to be cut after one season, and I'm feeling pretty bad about my take. But then I come to see this man had some bad salmon at the Jets facility. He can't make this type of shit up. But yeah, that's how that's going. And so he lost 20 pounds. So that made things make a lot more sense because I knew, he wasn't already necessarily bulked up to begin with. And he kind of is he has to play big. He's a big receiver. So if he lost weight, he wasn't going to lose a lot of value. So I understood after that. But the Jets said they're going to hold on to him. They, obviously not like going to cut him after something like that happened at the facility. It'd be probably a pretty bad look. So that's the story on Denzel Mims. Once he gets his weight back on, I still have faith in my boys. He's one of my guys, so I can't lose my faith.
Because he was eating fucking salmon. Salmon is gross. Fish is gross.
See, I'm not a salmon guy, but like fish isn't gross.
I like salmon, lobster, crab, shrimp, calamari. Can't do fish.
So you're just like you'll do like.
So you're like high class.
You'll do
like some high class shit.
Yeah. But no, I'm not even gonna say it. Go ahead.
All right, moving on. Jamaal Adams signs a 4-year, $70 million extension. This makes him the highest paid safety, surpassing Justin Simmons. What do we think here? Because this is, I feel like a lot of people do not like this move.
We talked about it before. The Seahawks had to do it, but I'm not going to be the team to make that trade and then be forced to re-sign him to a contract like that. So
I agree. I mean, actually, I'm going to kick this over to Dobbs because I think what you said the other day, really, hit home.
All right, let me ask you. Let me ask any Seahawks fan out there a serious question, because or anybody, put yourself in a Seahawks fan's shoes and just ask yourself this question: would you have much faith in the front office right now if you've basically missed on the first round of your last 5 drafts? You trade away 2 first rounders for a really good safety, who's arguably, in my opinion, he's not even the best strong safety in the league anymore. And you turn him into the highest paid safety for 2 first-round picks.
He's a linebacker.
Basically, he's a base. I mean, in the Seahawks defense, he basically does play he's basically a box linebacker. So, I mean, here's the thing, and this is all I'm going to say. A box linebacker or a safety is not going to win you a football game all by himself when they're taking up like a 5th-year cap. I mean, and look, the Seahawks, where Russell Wilson's he is an X factor type of dude where, of course, type of guy that can potentially lead you to Super Bowl anytime. I'm not disregarding that, but I just feel like long term, can you really be happy about this decision? Besides the fact that Jamaal Adams' name is like filled with all this like star power. I mean, like, I'm just being dead serious. Like I said, I'd rather have Justin Simmons on a long-term contract, who already was the highest paid safety, and they gave him like $4 million more a year, which ends up like $12 million by the time the contract's over. Yeah, I mean, that's a serious question, Seahawks fans.
Yeah, no, I agree with it too, Dobbs. Like you said, and Hunter, we talked about it a couple times, but they pretty much put themselves in a position where they had to resign him, because if they didn't, they would have just given 2 first rounders for nothing. And then they would have been in the hole too. I don't know. I think it's a tough thing, but
at least he's still 25. That's like the only upside of the deal to me is they're not paying him when he's like 28, 27, 29, like where you're like, he might start to like regress during his deal. That's one positive.
I saw a really funny picture where it said career interceptions and it showed Jamaal Adams and he has 2. And then it showed 2 other D linemen and they had like 3 interceptions and 4 interceptions. It was so funny. It's just not a good look. He's not a ball hawk. We all know that, but still. All right. So apparently the Chargers are not planning on re-signing Mike Williams. And do you guys think this could potentially change if he balls out this year?
I don't think it'll change because I think they know they're gonna have to re-sign some pieces to bigger contracts, especially Justin Herbert, even though it's only his second year. They know that, so they're not going to give him a long term, because if they want to keep Keenan Allen, that's going to cost money. I'm sure they'll want to keep Austin Eckler if he's not asking for a ridiculous amount. So I think unless he just signed an extension, I'm unaware, but I mean, it makes sense. I don't think it's like, I don't think it's like a fuck you to Mike Williams. I think it's more just like, we have the pieces, you're a really good receiver, and like, we just can't afford you type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I just don't think you can pay him. I think I think the team and I think the player both know that.
I agree. And I feel like the teams have been preparing for this also. I mean, last year they drafted the slot out of Ohio State. I'm forgetting his name, but he's very talented. And then they also got Josh Palmer from Tennessee. I've heard a lot of buzz about in camp.
I've heard he's looked awesome.
Right. So, I mean, if you're drafting young receivers looking to replace a guy that you don't want to give that contract to, then that's definitely the move. And I feel like this is already in motion.
AJ Hill, the guy from Ohio State, by the way, you might just see like a random explosion of like, he might be a nice waiver wire target at some point this year. I'll just throw that out there. Like one of the Chargers receiver gets injured.
Wasn't he like a 6th-round draft pick?
I was gassing him up coming out of college, dude. I'm still gonna. He's just on one of the best receiving cores in the league. He hasn't had much reps. I give him his reps. I think he's gonna be a great route runner. He's gonna get open, 100%.
So basically Austin Eckler is on contract for 2 more years. Keenan Allen is on contract for 3 more years. Like you said, Hunter, it's a business. I think they're just saying they would probably if they had the money, they'd probably love to resign him, but they're already,
if they didn't have Keenan Allen, I'm sure they'd do it.
They're already committing money to Keenan Allen and stuff like that. So it just makes it that much more difficult.
It's literally like a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin situation, but I don't know how the fuck that works down in Tampa. They just seem like they're able to keep everybody. So,
well, Chris Godwin's he's gonna be out of there next year too, probably.
Yeah, and all those contracts that you were just talking about was literally lining up for like when Justin Herbert's going to want an extension. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like after that 3 years, like he's definitely going to want to get extended if he's putting up the numbers he was.
If the Chargers were smart though, given we've only seen 1 year, right? But if he balls out next year,
extend him this year.
They should probably, you know what I mean? Like get ahead of it like they did with Josh Allen too. And one more quick note, Austin Eckler is only 26 years old.
That's really young.
That's crazy.
I feel like he's older.
I would have thought he'd be like 28, 29, something like that. All right, we'll move on. We're going back to the Jets with this one, but Quinnen Williams is back from injury. Connor Dobbs, the hot Jets, get a key piece back.
They're in the news this week, Dobbs. It must be something brewing up there.
Dude, it's almost like everyone's still asleep, bro. Everyone still has their pillow and blankie out and shit.
I'm sleep on the BYU boy. I am. I really am.
I cannot wait until he starts going crazy because it's just like I for real. I don't know if I'll be on literally record saying this. I don't know if I've ever been more confident one of my guys is just going to go out there and go crazy. And I was confident as fuck with Antonio Gibson, obviously, but I'm dead serious. People are for real sleep.
I will say
the offensive schemes, it's perfect. Like for him, it's perfect.
The
That's
one thing
Johnny
I'll
Manziel
say.
Jr.
Oh no.
Go back in time and give Johnny Manziel's Heisman to Mike Evans. Someone go back in time and just do that, and everything will make more sense.
Mike Evans is like one of my favorite receivers, so I'd be okay with that.
Bro, Mike Evans won him that Heisman. Someone go back and check the film. Like this, it was
Wait,
like,
what year
dude
was that?
just throwing shit up to Mike Evans, coming down with like 3 dudes, and literally it was.
Damn.
Shout out to Mike Evans. I think what was that 2012? Was it
2014?
I might be going
he
a
was
little
there
far
for
back here.
2012 and 2013. Bro, this man had 1,100 yards his first year and 1,400 yards his second year, and he only played 2 years.
My God.
He has never had less than 1,000-yard season in the league. Straight beast.
He hasn't. I mean, he had over 1,000 yards both years in college too, so he's never had a year below 1,000 yards.
Yeah, someone check his high school stats.
I'm sure in high school he's put up. He's never not seen 1,000 yards in a season.
That's wild.
It is
All right.
wild.
We're gonna move on to the next one. Damn, this is a tough one. Tim Tebow was released and Hunter lost $5.
Yeah, I put so
That's
my
where they
dad-
made their money.
My dad had hit me up
Dude,
when
yeah.
it was the night of the draft, and he's like, let's play some drafts. Like, well, you remember the bets where it was like sequenced or whatever. So we
Yeah.
were like throwing some money on there, and there was like a preseason special. It was like if T-Law, Trevor Lawrence throws a fucking touchdown to Tim Tebow, the odds were crazy. So I put 5 on it. They fucking knew he was getting cut. So I put 5 on it to win 80. And that's honestly what I've been looking forward to all year. So I almost bet like $50 on the Bears drafting Justin Fields. And I was like, fuck, like if that hits, that would be crazy. But I would be so sick if we 1, didn't draft a quarterback, 2, lost my 50. So I was like, fuck this. Yeah, I lost 5 on the Tebow thing. I'm not ashamed to say it.
I was right there with you, telling you to take it. So I'll take some partial blame in that too.
I'm on record saying this at some point. So yeah, I have to eat this as well.
I also think we should talk about, or at least to address, how bad he is at blocking.
Yeah, it's real bad. I think Pace might sign him.
Yeah,
Dude.
but look, I think
Hey, we
I
got
can,
Jesse
I can
James now.
understand him not being
do
a
have
very
Jesse
good
James.
blocker after not playing for like 7 seasons and never
That is
having to
true.
block
That
in his
is
whole
true.
career. Like I can understand.
Well, yeah, when do you think Tim Tebow ever blocked in his football career before this?
He did throw actually one fire-ass block in college, like on the first running back. I remember it was
How do you
gas.
know
So,
that?
Hyped me
Yeah,
up,
I
bro.
don't know.
Because he was like, because I just remember this one little snippet where he literally
Is it in
hands
his
the
tape?
ball off and just starts running downfield and clobbers one. I was like, yo,
Every
Turn me
year,
up.
Dobbs,
But in
Dobbs
college, it's way
picks a
different.
random team and random year and just Googles it on fucking YouTube of college football.
dude, you always got to go. Hey, you always got to go back and you got to. If we're gonna personify football film, you have to respect your elders. You got to go back and watch old film. You can't give up on the old film. You'll find some fire stuff in there.
Dobbs is always looking at the old stuff, and he remembers literally everything.
Everything.
I try.
All right.
I can't and not everything.
We're gonna go to
I hate this
Chicago.
one. No,
with
no,
some
no. We can't talk about
Bad
it.
news.
That is bad news.
Tevin Jenkins is like they said he's gonna try
He's
to
not
return.
coming back. He's
I
not
don't
coming
think
back.
he will personally, but he's
Bro,
out
back
with
surgery?
back surgery. Ryan Pace traded up to get him.
I've heard,
Hunter.
I've heard. So believe me, I was reading a ton on this today. So I don't know how to feel about it because one, I'm okay with him getting to surgery if he comes back next year and balls out or does whatever. But all injuries are scary. But the one that's most scary to me is your back. Bro, think about that. They have to cut down by your back. They have to cut into your back. Like everything you do controls, like it implements your back. Like it is connected. So a lineman too, imagine that every play getting just pushed back. Like
And
So
getting
for
into that stance.
From my understanding, what I was reading, and I could be completely wrong, is there was knowledge of back injury, but it was basically a gamble whether it was going to need surgery or not. I'm okay with the gamble. I'm okay with moving up, drafting him. If he gets the surgery and he's fine, then it is what it is. We lose a year, that's fine. I would rather him not, force it, but it still fucking sucks. And that's why we signed Jason Peters, right? Like, but dude is like 39, like,
And
fucking
he's like
old as shit.
can't
Our
stay
line
healthy
is
himself.
fucked. That's what I'm saying. So like, if it takes a year to get a healthier line, then it is what it is. It's gonna suck though if he ends up not panning out.
Just given that we traded up for him too. Like we gave away assets to go get this guy. And but that would be the only explanation for why he was falling so much too.
That's about exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. This honestly, this is not good at all. This is, like,
It pisses me off.
this is very bad. If the Bears had knowledge of this too, then I don't know. What other O linemen? I'm trying to remember. What pick was what number did you guys pick him at again?
It was
39.
Early.
So I'm trying to remember who was still sitting on the board at that point.
So as soon as we
tackles?
took him, all the other tackles got taken like the next 10 picks. Like it was like a run on tackles. And everyone thought Pace was a genius because they're like, oh my God, he knew exactly when the run on tackles was going to happen.
I've been saying this too, bro. And I love Tevin Jenkins. I mean, if he stays healthy, like if he can stay healthy, I do think even if it doesn't, I'm on record saying this, if he doesn't work out at tackle, which he might not, he has shorter arms. He'll be a great guard. If he has to go to the inside of the line, he'll be a great guard. At this point, it's for real just about staying healthy. This dude, he's for real a mauler. It's just like, it is very concerning. We haven't even played a snap. And like you said, you're having your back cut into.
Yeah.
I've heard Larry Borum's been doing actually pretty good.
That was a smart pick.
That was a really smart
Not
pick.
only for depth, but now, shit.
Has anyone heard anything about Arlington Hambright?
Shut up. Fuck that dude.
He's still
We
sticking
drafted him.
around
We could
in
have signed
camp.
him after the fucking draft. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, he's been around for 2 years now. They like him a little bit, I guess.
I mean,
All right.
when you look at the Bears line, though, I think they like anybody who will stand on the line.
I mean, yeah, James Daniels is struggling with injury right now too. Like, it's just not a good look for the Bears O-line.
Bro, I'm saying it. I just have to my tidbit. Use your first round pick.
To get a tackle?
I'm on offensive linemen. Be winning strategic.
we needed a quarterback,
Yeah.
though, bro. Like, badly.
Well, we also got Justin, yeah.
No,
But
well, I mean, like,
future years?
obviously, yeah. Like,
Upcoming years? Well, I guess we don't have one fucking next year either. Fuck.
I'll broadcast it as a Saints fan for the rooftops. Use your first round picks.
Literally-
on linemen. Trust me, that is where you want. That's where you should really want. Like, they are boom or bust, and it matters the most. Like, you got to draft somebody you're really confident in with that to put on the line.
No, yeah. All right, we're gonna move into a rookie recap from the first week of the preseason. This week we will be going over all of the quarterback stat lines, how they looked, everything. So first up, we got Dobbs' boy. Dobbs is a Zach Wilson truther. He went
sir.
6 of 9 for 63 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I just want to add a quick note. He throws the ball with a zip. And I really am still indifferent on him. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from his career, but the ball jumps out of his hands. And I think that's the one thing I've taken away from Zach Wilson.
I just don't think he's going to be I think he'll be good, like, okay. But like, I just know where I see him failing in like late game situations. Like, I just don't see him executing late game situations. That's where I see it. And that's where you win a lot of games. So that's just,
I think that's fair to say because we haven't seen him play in any high leverage situations. And like, we saw the only big game they had last year was against Coastal Carolina. And that was probably one of his
this needs to be said. This needs to be addressed. I've watched every snap of his college career, and in that game, there was at least 5 drops by his receivers, and I swear to God,
you're right, Dobbs.
3 of them were incredibly crucial. Like, literally would
On the
have
goal
tied
line.
the game. Like
Yep.
it was the difference of the game. Zach Wilson takes no blame for that loss when you go back. There's a couple moments where he missed a few reads. It happens. But on God, trust me. If you don't everyone go back, pause this, go watch the Coastal Carolina game snap for snap, and then come back and tell me that Zach Wilson didn't laser some dots that just were dropped.
He didn't even have the ball that often that game either. That's the thing. Like he made good throws still, and like his time of possession was so much less than Coastal Carolina's.
He dealt with drops all season too, dude. There were so many like big throws in games where it's like they were up winning by so much it didn't even matter most of the games. But there's so many.
We also just like quickly talk about how I just want to look at the stats of that game, and Coastal Carolina's quarterback Grayson McCall threw for 85 yards. And they won.
The ground game. The
49ers game plan.
That should tell you the level of competition Zach Wilson was playing with.
To be fair though, they rushed for like 270 yards.
The Alabama be doing that
Coastal
to motherfuckers
Carolina.
too some days. You just
It's easier.
Ground games
It's easier to
you just
run
gotta
the
do
ball
it.
than to throw it, bro. Like you don't have to complete the pass. All you have to do is hand the ball off.
Yeah, and especially
True.
in college when most teams D lines and O lines are just like it's just if you have a dominant O line, you're playing like a booty.
Oh,
D
you
line
can
to D,
dominate.
You just gotta run down the
dominate
throat.
easily. Yeah.
Like might as well. Like
All right, we're gonna move on to the next guy now. Trey Lance went 5 of 14, 128 yards, and a phenomenal throw for a touchdown, which was by far the highlight. It needs to be said that throw was fantastic. He did struggle a bit on the other plays during that game.
I'm gonna say this right now. Trey Lance is either going to be incredible or he's going to fucking suck. And I'm going to tell you this right now.
No,
why.
I agree with that.
Because, okay, so he had an 80-yard touchdown, okay? So that means if we take that 80-yard touchdowns, that means he was 4 for 13 and 48 yards are 48 yards is the difference.
Yeah,
that's really
so
bad.
It's like, that's not good at all. Like, and my thing is, yes, the pass was a very good pass, but he was wide fucking open. He burned the defensive back.
It was a good.
If you didn't complete the pass, it would have been like fuck. Like the play was perfect. It was perfect. Everything was perfect.
extra points for it being like hash to hash though. That I agree with everything you're saying. 100. The only I'm just gonna give him a little bit of bonus points because the throw was like opposite hash to opposite hash. Like I got to give him a little bit of credit. That's pretty nice. And
No,
other
it was
than that,
a
I
phenomenal
totally
throw.
He's
phenomenal
built
throw.
like a superstar quarterback. So like hopefully he can like actually be good.
He looks the nicest standing in the pocket at any of these young guys to me. Him and Jordan Love right now to me look the most. I know Jordan Love's not a rookie.
Don't say his name.
But they look the most confident standing in that pocket.
You're not allowed to say his name
for sure.
Number 10 in Wisconsin. That's what you.
Zach Wilson too. Zach Wilson looks great in the pocket. Justin Fields is going to look a little bit. Justin Fields is not going to look as confident in the pocket because he doesn't deserve to right now because the Bears' O-line is not going to give him that comfortability. That's not his fault. He's just not going to be able to stand in there and rifle.
Hey! Arlington Hambright's going to step up nice soon.
Well, I mean, he gets the snap and he's moving. He's moving quickly, dude. Like, it's gonna be like that all season. Like, unless you guys make an amazing trade.
Connor, how you feeling about Trey Lance?
I agree with you on the fact that I think it's either going to be boom or bust, but I think it's going to be more boom or bust like the whole year. Like if he plays this year, I could see him making really nice throws like that, and then he's going to be like ass. And you know, that kind of reminds me of
Trubisky,
like Cam Newton. Oh,
Cam
Newton after his MVP season was like either throwing dimes or just throwing it right in the fucking dirt, and there was no in between. And I feel like Trey Lance is kind of going to fit in that aspect right there.
The accuracy is what everyone's worried about. So like, it's a good comparison.
No, I agree. And I think consistency will be, like you were just saying, Connor, like it's his biggest thing. And I think we'll see moments when he shines and we'll see moments when he looks awful. But I think that's the thing. And if he continues to grow, he could be a consistent and more reliable quarterback, which will make him a very good quarterback. All right. Our guy, number 1 on the Bears, Justin Fields, 14 to 20, 142 yards and 1 touchdown in his preseason debut.
So I'm gonna tell you this right now. At first, when he was starting off shaky, I was cheesing my ass off. You want to know why I was cheesing my ass off? Because I knew I could tell, even though it wasn't going smooth, I could tell he knew he was figuring out the game. And I could just tell by his body language that he was like, okay, I'm figuring this out. And then every single play, it got smoother and smoother. After the drop snap, it was so smooth. And you want to know why I'm excited? Because he is the type of quarterback who will just, I just felt different watching him. Like even when we just got Trubisky, I was like, oh, okay. Like, but it didn't this guy did not feel like a Bears quarterback. Like it just felt like when we were on offense, I was like, oh fuck, we're moving the ball. Like it just felt so different. And I hope my years of suffering are over of bad offense.
Honestly, just seeing him take the field like and actually playing a Bears uniform, just like this kid is going to be special, so fucking special for the Bears. Like, dude, he is gonna be an upper echelon quarterback. I have no doubt in my mind. The composure, the accuracy, the speed. Like, what does this man not have? What
the most important thing he needs?
An offensive line.
He's gonna be the Andrew Luck shit. That's what's gonna scare me.
Hey, I'm excited too. For the first time, the Bears have. I mean, we don't know. Everyone's super hopeful. They're putting high expectations on him, which is, I hate that Bears fans do that, but it makes sense. We've never had a fantastic quarterback. Our best one's Jay Cutler, Sid Luckman. Like, I mean, that you're not working with a lot there, so it makes sense that those expectations are on him. I just really hope that he lives up to it. I think he's capable of it, but yeah, man, Bears have a chance, a glimpse of hope at the quarterback position for the first time in forever.
All right, I gotta say this, though. Tell me you guys agree with me on this though, because I do agree with what Connor said. I do think Justin Fields like sooner than later is going to be like a really good quarterback in the league, and he's going to like figure it out for sure. But it is worth noting. This is why and I went back. I've been saying this all year. Like if Justin Fields doesn't start for a while, it's not the worst thing in the world, because when you go back and look at it, the first quarter they played the first team defense, so he's playing their starters, and obviously the first quarter looked really bad. Like it was very shaky. Second, third quarter was the second team, so their second stringers. And then the fourth quarter was their third stringers. I don't even know if he was playing the fourth quarter. But so it makes more sense when you look at it like that too, that like, okay, the progression of the game is like, he's going to get better like the worst competition he faces. He did look pretty shaky against their like starters. So it's like, I think that like, I wouldn't be rushing him in there. I think he has all the tools to be really good. The only thing that is going to screw him up if the Bears rush him too early into that star role. And it's kind of the same. Trubisky didn't have an opportunity to sit and learn. So that's exactly what happened with Trubisky too. No O-line, no time to get used to the NFL game. But Justin Fields has that opportunity. So like, I feel like that's going to be, it's kind of something no one's talking about. That's my opinion.
There's no sitting behind. I mean, for Trubisky, what are you learning behind Mike Glennon?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no learning behind that. And that's my thing with Andy Dalton. Like, listen, I'm fine. We roll with him week 1, week 2. But by week 3, Fields has to be playing because it's just like inevitable. Like, it's so inevitable that he is just the better guy. He meshes with the team better, and experience is really, because there's only, like I said, there's only so much you can learn from Andy Dalton sitting behind him.
And he's just going to adjust at his own pace. I mean, it doesn't have to do with Andy Dalton's leadership or his teaching.
Well, no, and I think that's the most important thing. It has nothing to do with Andy Dalton. Like, I mean, yeah, a little bit. Like, if he's playing like shit, then right. But like, the city of Chicago is behind Justin. I bet a lot of the team is hoping Justin Fields plays too. A lot of the coaches are more excited for Justin. It's just like this overwhelming factor that Andy Dalton has no control over whatsoever. Like, the only way that he'll be able to diminish all of this if he comes out and plays like the best football of his career. Like,
what are you guys gonna say if that happens? Just out of curiosity, like,
I personally would be happy because it means the Bears are doing good too, and it gives Justin more time to sit and just like process more.
No, that's good. The Bears can win with like just an average quarterback. So then if Justin Fields comes in and balls out, then we're elevated to a whole new level. I'm not like cheering on Andy Dalton's demise, but like, I'm just saying like,
it's just
game
inevitable.
Experience is so important.
If we're being honest,
to get in there,
I don't think that's going to happen, dude. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to come in this with this line. I don't.
Andy Dalton
from the dirty sea.
Listen.
I don't think he's going to suck.
Listen. Like, week 1 versus the Rams and our O-line is still banged up, bro. Andy Dalton is going to struggle.
That sucks that you guys have to play the Rams week 1, bro. Like, that seriously sucks.
The Bears' schedule is so weird this year. It is so weird.
We got to play the fucking Packers, man. Like, we need to spaz. So sick.
Fuck the Packers.
We got to bust their ass for y'all, bro. Fuck that.
Wait, what week do you guys play them?
quick baseball moment. The White Sox, hey, they did the thing.
I hate the Yankees right now. I hate the Yankees right now.
I'm gonna need to. I need the squad to return the favor. We got to bust the Packers ass week 1.
Oh, I respect that. If you guys do that shit, then we'll be cool again, Dobbs. But
all right, good shit, bro. I gotta rely on the Saints.
We're gonna move on to the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. He went 6 of 9 for 71 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I personally did not see much of this. So I think he just looked like okay. Like I just think he was like fine. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it.
I didn't watch. I heard he did pretty good. I heard he like looked good type thing. Like maybe the stats weren't showing, but it looked good. I'm going to just say my piece on this. I have been hating on, I've not even been hating, just like not as high as everybody else. We had a fantasy draft dynasty. I ended up taking him.
This does need to be addressed.
Yeah, I ended up taking him because I was like, fuck, like if he pans out, like I have my guy for the next however many years this dynasty thing runs. So yeah, hopefully he pans out.
You know, his backup O-line is atrocious. So like he had no confidence. He's saying like he did one great throw, and that's also like was like literally probably like 7-8
to Marvin Jones.
Yeah, that was like probably like literally like he like 11 yards without that throw that he had. So like, you know, I think we're gonna really need to wait until he's behind his actual. Because I've said on like I think the Jaguars O-line's actually not bad. Like when the starters are not bad at all. Like they have a good line for him. So when I get to see him behind the starters, I'm gonna be excited. But right now, I'm just not putting too much stock into it because. Just God, if you're a Jaguars fan, you better pray that your line stays healthy because that is not going to look good if even 1 or 2 starters is out. Straight collapsing.
I trust the eye test more than the stats. So if he looked good and comfortable, I'm probably going to be pretty decent.
And I was saying this before too, and it's kind of weird that a number 1 overall pick comes into a situation like this where like their line isn't complete dog shit. They have decent receivers too, like. Trevor Lawrence walked into, in like comparison to other number 1 overall picks, like a pretty good situation. So I think
he lives in Florida. Like it could have been a lot
it's
worse.
Jacksonville.
TEBOW.
It's Jacksonville.
Like, but it could be so much worse. Like usually when you get a first round pick, it's like where you're like, you got to go to like some small. Jacksonville is a small town, I guess, but at least you're in Florida. Like, you got a lot of stuff to do around you. Like, I would not mind living in Florida. If
I don't know. I mean, a lot of
professional
football go to New York.
Professional football and Florida. That's a nice combo right there. You got fucking money to do whatever you want. Florida, like, hey, fuck it. I'm going down to like the Everglades today. Like, hat ass.
no income tax. I'm pretty sure.
Whatever you want to do down in Florida, you let it ride.
All right. So now we're going on to the last of the quarterbacks, at least first round quarterbacks. Mac Jones won 13 of 19 for 87 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I just want to say really quick, he just looks so comfortable. I know it was against second team guys, but like it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything good, but it's what the Patriots need on offense, I think. So I think it's a perfect fit, and I think he looked comfortable. I've been praising Mac Jones all offseason too. So
I don't really have anything to say. It's a very Mac Jones stat line. Like high completion percentage, not a ton of yards. Like, I mean, it's Mac Jones. Like, there's nothing else to say.
I mean, like we thought this was a good fit, offense and for Mac Jones, and it just looks like it's proven us right. So, I mean, hats off to the Patriots for getting their guy at 15.
And hands off to us for getting it right.
Dude, the Patriots.
We're always right.
The Patriots are always a threat as long as Bill Belichick's there. That's just all that needs to be said on this.
Yeah. You know what I'm very excited for? When we start doing the predictions for the games before they happen and then release it. That is gonna be fun. We're going into our fantasy segment. We just recently did a Burbs fantasy draft that is a dynasty league. So we're each going to just take a couple minutes to discuss kind of our favorite picks for our team. Dylan, if you want to go ahead and start, maybe say your team name and then maybe like 2 or 3 players that are kind of like you're hopeful for.
So my team name is Mr. Gluten and the Bread Boys. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm Mr. Gluten because I can't eat them, and my team is the Bread Boys. But basically, I talked to Connor a lot about this. I had to go Mahomes in the first round. I was picked 8 out of 10, and I just couldn't live with myself if I didn't get Mahomes. Best quarterback. He's still relatively young, too. And then my second pick, I got Antonio Gibson. I snagged him right before Dobbs. I still kind of feel bad about that. because Dobbs put me on. But I think he has the potential to be a great running back for a long time. I'm just gonna say like my first 4 picks. Then I got CeeDee Lamb because Dobbs got me back by taking DK the pick before me that time. But CeeDee Lamb is gonna be a baller, so I'm excited about him too. I think pick 4 I actually traded already. I took Terry McLaurin because I just wasn't thinking. I got 2 Washington football team players, and then I traded with Ralph to get Keenan Allen because they're relatively same value, but I just can't deal with having 2 players on the same team like that. So those are my first 4 picks. I got a nice little young core. I also drafted TJ Hawkinson shortly after, so I'm looking good for the future, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, Connor, you want to go over your team? Or you know what? Let Dobbs go first because we're co-signed this year. So we can discuss our shit together. So
damn, Dobbs, I think we got a co-sign then.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
You already know I'm prepared.
Okay,
you don't have anything to co-sign over.
Yeah, we do.
Being
I have
good
DK
as
Metcalf,
fuck.
and Dylan's a DK Metcalf fan. So
And I have Antonio
that.
Gibson.
Exactly.
Right.
Let's go.
Dobbs,
Let's ride.
You need to change your team name because it's very generic.
I do.
You do need to change your team name.
But then again, just facing the team name Dobbs is also kind of hard. If you're like, hey, I'm facing Dobbs, you're like, what? You're like, no, his team name's Dobbs. To the Dobbs. All right. So my favorite picks in my draft, definitely getting DK in the 3rd round. I feel like I'm getting fantastic value right there. So also I took Cam Akers in the 9th round. Gonna throw a keeper on him. Feeling pretty good about that one. I'm on Raz St. Brown in the 10th round. I think he's gonna be the Lions' #1 receiver for a long time. I'm really excited about that. And you know what? Who the hell talks about their defense in a fantasy draft? I got the Dolphins defense. I've been talking my shit about getting it, dude. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm about to have my 15-point a game defense.
That's nice.
I'm pretty excited about that.
I like that one.
So those are like my 3 picks I'm most excited about.
Connor,
Everything else I feel was just fair value.
I wanna preface this to our listeners. I had
preface
probably
it
the
for
most,
me too.
Yeah, I probably one of the most radical drafts in the Burbs League and all time. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
It was an all-timer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be in 6 fantasy leagues this year, so I gotta have some fun with some of these. Like, it's ridiculous. I gotta get most of the same players and whatnot. So I went Kyle Pitts as my first pick at like pick 9. Gonna have him for the rest of his career. Tight end spot, easy money. And then in the 2nd round, I got Justin Fields. And yes, I know what you're thinking. There were like crazy good players on the board, but I have been in a dynasty league before with more people in it. This is a 10-person league, and I'm in a 12-person league. Keeping 6 people isn't as much as you can see, and like most people are gonna have a really tough time picking and choosing who they're gonna want to keep. So I got my first 6 guys, and I said these are gonna be my keepers. After that, I don't give a fuck. And so Justin Fields had to be up there for me. I don't care if it's a reach; he's gonna be a goat.
Can I read some of the texts you sent me after that too?
Yeah,
before the draft,
what did I say?
Connor goes, well, first you asked who I'm going to take first, and then you said my first 2 are absolute reaches, and then you followed that up by saying I think I might go 0-13 this year.
No, honestly though, but that's what me and Hunter are on the vibe for.
We on the ride. We on the train.
Bro, if he was still sitting there like 5th, 6th round, I like 4th. I was like planning on taking him and make you guys sick. Like I thought like everyone would be like, no way he was thinking about that. I was like waiting for like 4th.
Everybody was thinking that. Everybody wanted to take him.
I knew that Ralph. I thought Ralph was gonna take him with the first. I thought Ralph was gonna take him with the first overall pick. Where I literally that's what I thought was gonna happen. Like I was literally waiting on that. He didn't.
Yep.
But that would be even crazier. But got your guy Connor.
So
yes, sir.
I am. Wait, Connor, you were done, right?
Yeah, that was. I didn't really have any really cool picks.
Okay.
Oh, Joe Mixon, throw him in there.
God.
I do like Clyde too.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't like any Chiefs running back.
Aren't you guys supposed to co-sign or what's happening?
Don't worry about us. How about you? How about that?
Talk about us.
So I'm the Mooney Tunes, because I obviously have Darnell Mooney. And I know Dobbs was fucking sick when I drafted him. But it's okay. Dobbs took someone from me, so fuck him. But some of my favorite picks, I took Calvin Ridley because I don't know, like I have never been like a super big believer in him, but like without Julio in that offense, they throw the ball a fuck ton, and I just dropped my AirPod. But I took him, and I also have AJ Brown, I have Curtis Samuel, so T Higgins, like I have a ton of fucking like young receivers, and then on top of that, I took like a Derrick Henry, a T Law, Kenyon Drake, Chuba Hubbard, Josh Jacobs, so like just a ton of young people. And like the way I looked at it is my team might not be that good this year, but if a young guy busts out, I can move based on potential and maybe restack some like really good talent and also like going forward, because you can only keep 6. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of evaluate my 6 halfway through the season and then kind of move who I don't believe in and try to get some value back for a young player. So I'm fine with, losing a couple games this year. I really drafted for the long run, and I also reached on Cole Kmet, but it doesn't matter.
The thing is, Hunter, you and me are going to have so many options at the end of the year that, like, not only are we going to have a tough time keeping what 6 or what not, but if we have 6 that are that good, the trades are going to be easy fire. Like
that's what I'm saying. There's like people are so interested in young players and their potential. I that's one of my whole thing. I was like, oh, if I don't fucking like them, I'll move them. Someone's gonna take them. So
right.
I also just realized for my team that I'm so fucked if one of my running backs gets hurt.
My quarterback situation is tough.
I only drafted 3 running backs, and one's Trey Sermon, who's probably not even going to start at first. So if one gets hurt, dude, I am fucked.
I took Chuba Hubbard because I think he's a stud, and I honestly think CMC is going to have a very injury-ridden career going forward. I don't see him coming back from that like consistently and healthily. So that's why I reached on Chuba Hubbard, and because I just think he's going to be a stud, because he went to what, Penn State?
Chuba was at Oklahoma State.
Okay, never mind.
Absolute dog. He was
I love him. Dude, he's literally Austin Eckler, like 5 years younger.
He's a great receiving back.
That's why I took him. I think, like I said, I don't trust the CMC's health, so I took him. But I also handcuffed Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake together.
Dobbs over here cheesing.
I updated the team. The team logo and name has been officially changed.
Oh fuck! Let's go look.
My God, y'all like the Mooney Tunes?
Dude, I
probably
like
smoking pink runs.
That was clever.
Probably smoking pink runs. I like that. I fuck with that.
Let's go.
Wait, what is it?
Manager Ryan. That's what it says.
I hate that. I don't like that.
Wait, you mean Ryan, the manager, are probably smoking pink runs?
What the fuck? That's terrible. How does it's how do you switch it so your last name is your first name?
I think if you just go back to change your team name, it'll say like display name, and you can change
Dobbs,
it to Dobbs.
If you win this year with your team, will you legally change your name to Dobbs?
Dobbs.
No,
shit.
No. Just no last name, just Dobbs.
You're just Dobbs.
I'm like Ichiro. Or no, or who is he? Because he did have a last name. Who was? I'm trying to think. There are some like Nene. I'll be like Nene,
bro. No, it would be so fucked having to fill out like online forms that don't let you go forward without a fucking last name.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that'd be fucked.
That would be the worst.
No, that's why I'm different. I'll just tell them I'm different. I only have one. I'm different. Be like, I can't fill out that passage. I'm different.
So
I have to accommodate.
That is the Burbs Gridiron. I was thinking we could probably do something cool with the Insta just to like keep up with it. I feel like that would be cool. Like people could like look into it.
That would be cool.
Since we're trying to make it a little bit more personal and everything.
To keep track, yeah. That'd be fun.
And I think everyone on the page would love it. They would share it because it's like, fuck.
That's their own, yeah.
That's the end of our fantasy segment. We're going to move on to the one-on-one segment. So first off, we have Dylan and Connor. They're going to be arguing the biggest draft bust going back to 2010 in the top 5 picks. You guys ready? Who would like to go first?
I'll go first since
Dylan's
I guess
scared.
we both know both of ours, but I'll go first.
Dylan's scared. So whenever you want to go, I'll start the timer.
Bro.
All right. You going on me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So The biggest draft bust since 2010, drafted in the top 5, to me has been a guy that was recently drafted in 2018. Let's see the consecutive picks for Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, all very good players. And then Clelin Ferrell out of fucking Clemson. What a fucking reach. What a bust. The dude is worse than Max Crosby, who got drafted round 6. So you've got a top 5 pick getting outperformed by the 6th round pick on your team. Not even to mention the guys drafted after him. Josh Allen from the Jags, great. Rashawn Gary is starting to really turn up for the Packers now. Brian Burns is going to be a Pro Bowler this year, no doubt in my mind. Let's see the next one. Montez Sweat played really well last year, and he's going to be even better this year. That's like 5 to 6 guys that were nice.
Whenever you're
always
ready,
to the buzzer.
All right. So my biggest bust since 2010 and on inside the top 5 is Trent Richardson for one main reason. He got bad. He put on some pounds and he just was not that same running back that he was drafted to be. He got drafted 3rd overall behind Andrew Luck and RG3. He had some solid players go after him too, which is always a bad look. Ryan Tannehill, Luke Kuechly, Stephon Gilmore, Dontari Poe, Fletcher Cox all went after him. Even later, Melvin Ingram was there. Trent Richardson in college was also an absolute monster. In his last year at Alabama, he rushed for 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns. So there was major hype coming out about him. He was an absolute beast, and he fizzled out maybe one of the hardest I have ever seen in the NFL. He just was not that same back, and he was out of the league in 3 years, which you're drafting top 5. At the least, you're expecting to have him on your team for a little bit, be a solid contributor, not out of the league.
Done.
Yeah,
I guessed it.
Buzzer.
Yes. Yeah, for real. Whenever you're ready for your rebuttal, Connor.
All right.
Dobbs. Actually, never mind. Go ahead, Connor.
All right. Okay. The reason why I think Clelin is a bigger bust than Trent Richardson is that Clelin has yet to put together a decent season, and Trent Richardson, his rookie year on the Browns, I think he ran for around 1,000 yards. Like, he got traded for a pretty decent price. Like, he had at least one good season. I think he was a Pro Bowl or anything, but like, you could tell that he wasn't a bust right away. Clelin has yet to do anything in the league. I can foresee him being out of the league in at least 2 to 3 years.
With a second to spare. Oh my God. Dylan, are you ready? Because you went over last time, but go ahead.
Whoa, I was at the
I
buzzer.
know.
I'm being
I'm being a little aggressive today. On your go.
All right. So I do acknowledge the fact that Trent Richardson had a pretty solid first year. He rushed for 950 yards, 11 tutties, but that was it. And then the decline happened. And honestly, Trent Richardson's was just depressing. He was a crazy running back in college. He had a decent first year. And then, like I said, he put on the LBs. He fizzled out. He got traded. It was just a depressing decline. And he never was what he was supposed to be.
Done.
The LBs.
The LBs. I saw Dobbs smile, and then I started smiling.
He just said it like so concerned. He's like, it was so depressing. Started putting on the LB.
I was really trying to like dramatize it and just
That
make
was
it
so fucking
really
classic.
sad.
That was great.
Someone chop that part of the whenever we cut this. Like we have to save that clip.
This one is really hard. I can't even lie. Like
I was gonna say the
actually
same.
don't. I actually don't know because it's like you look at Trent Richardson. It's like, okay, he had all this hype behind him. They use a pick and he fizzles out so quickly. I just dropped a pen. But you also look at Clelin Ferrell, who probably wasn't even supposed to go there. He was definitely not supposed to go there.
No,
it just hasn't done shit. And there were so many players behind him. So it's like, it really depends on how you want to look at it. Are you looking at it as like, oh, the hype behind him in college? Or are you looking at all the players you could have had? So I don't fucking know how to look at it, to be honest.
The only thing that's doing myself a disservice, and I'll admit now, is that I said those players that were drafted after him, but they weren't like immediately after. Like this draft class was kind of fucking ass, if I'm being honest.
So why
Like-
would you even say that? If I was arguing that, I would literally have not brought that up because I would not even thought.
Well,
of
it's
that.
not in the argument now.
That's a good point. Now it's
Yeah,
just
but it's-
afterwards. Well, okay. Didn't we decide last week we're not even gonna
Yeah, you
decide
guys
who's
aren't
the
even
winner
fucking
anymore?
making
Yeah,
a decision on it.
It's
Yeah.
just all gonna be so here's my viewpoint on it. If I was because it's not even we're picking anymore. If I had this gun in my head, I had to pick one. The reason and you both made great arguments, seriously. The reason I would pick Quinnen Farrell is because the position value is so much higher and that so many other like all pro caliber edges went after him. Where the Browns are just stupid for drafting a running back in the top 5. And it's kind of like at that point, he everything you said, I agree 100%, but it's like, you kind of deserve it. But whereas Quinnen Farrell, it's like you reached and you took the most important position on defense and he sucks. So
Well,
that is what makes it so tough with Quinnen Farrell.
I mean, I guess the real reason we won't know the answer to this too, it's like if Quinnen Farrell ends up being at least like semi-productive, even like in a platoon role where he gets some time, then I think he wouldn't be as more, but we really don't know right now because like Trent Richardson was for real out of the league in 2 years.
I think
But-
I was leaning towards Colin Farrell because like I don't watch college football at all. I'm not gonna lie, and like it just does not interest me. And like I don't really look into the players until it's like draft time. And like even when it's that, I'm looking at like the very important positions, not important position, but like quarterback, like maybe a couple top receivers, all that stuff. I didn't watch any college football that year. And when the Raiders drafted Clelin Farrell, I
it was
knew
bad.
I was like, who the fuck is like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, I was so taken back and I like didn't even watch college football and like keep track of, I just knew like, it was like, what the fuck? And like Trent Richardson, like you didn't know, like the thing with Clelin Farrell is I feel like people knew it was a bust the minute they drafted him. Where people drafted Trent Richardson, like, oh, this dude's amazing, like, blah blah blah.
You know what's funny when you go back and look at his college stats, Clelin Farrell. Okay, so the highest I'm rounding up for him. The highest he ever had in a season was 12, and it was like consistent improvement. 20 tackles for a loss was really nice too.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you look at the fact that he played for Clemson in the ACC, and it's like, you know, I don't know, like. And look, and this is why I bring up the Clemson thing. I'm not taking a dig at Clemson dudes. What I am doing is taking a dig at a front office that's only willing to take players that are from Alabama and Clemson in the first round, which is exactly what the Raiders have been doing. And isn't there one other school that they take players from? Connor, what's the third school that they're like willing to reach for?
Bama, because they took
No, it's Bama. Bama and Ohio State. So they only so it's the three like top three. They go back like over the last like 5 or 6 years, they don't draft anybody. It's not from those three schools in the first round. Obviously, it's not working out. And I mean, you know, if I was a Raiders fan, I'd be absolutely livid with the way that, like,
so
the front office is just, I would be like so.
In Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft, like right before the draft, he had Clelin Farrell going 25 overall.
25.
It made sense.
I mean,
Like,
they did the same thing with Damon Arnett too. He was like supposed to be a second rounder, mid-second rounder. They took him at 19.
And I've already seen people talk about. I've been seeing like reports that he probably won't even be on the team next year. His camp has been so bad this year.
That's
they
bad.
don't have any faith in him. I swear I read a whole article on this. So like when you go back and you take dudes from really high quality schools that are playing obviously in the best position they can be in, I think you really have to put a lot of emphasis on that when you're evaluating them, that they are already in the best situation.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, if I take this guy and put him in a really shitty situation, is he really going to do anything? Like, you know,
that's why I'm all for taking
man,
Bama players and like Clemson players, like in later rounds. Like, that's why I love
that's when
taking
you should
players
do
like
that.
Eddie.
That's when
like you got to
do
take him in like the fourth or fifth, like the fourth round. I think is perfect for Bama players. I think it's perfect. I mean, that's when we got Eddie Jackson, and I know the Cowboys were doing that on defense. They were taking, because regardless if they're getting like a ton of playing time, they're practicing against the best of the best every single day. Like, they're still like they're still good enough to be on Bama. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, it is a toss-up too, because I don't want to like just blatantly say like it in the fifth round always take a big school guy rather than the small school guy. But like, I mean, there is something to it a little bit. Like, if there's a guy that had an injury at a big school or whatever too, like it is well worth the risk of a late round pick on it.
yeah.
But
so we're gonna be moving into our second. You were about to do that. Second one-on-one segment. It's gonna be me and Dobbs, and we're gonna be we phrased the question wrong. We're just gonna what are we looking at for this rookie quarterback in the first preseason game?
I think just who you like their intangibles, like the way they throw the ball, the way they scan the field, just little things. Because I'm not going to put any stock in anything else right now.
Who's like looked comfortable?
Yeah,
so NFL ready, something.
Yeah. Dobbs, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
So Dylan, you're gonna have to time this one. Oh, prepared.
I'm always prepared, man.
No. All right. Whenever you want, Dobbs.
All right. 3, 2. So my thing is I'm going with Zach Wilson, as you might have figured. And I know he had very minimal reps. And that's totally fine because in his reps, I saw everything I needed to see. Him standing in the pocket looking confident, zip on his throw, shouts to Connor. And perfect spirals on every throw. And I've been seeing the fourth thing is that I've been seeing this consistently throughout college, his last season. So my thing is you take all that and you put him in an offense that I think is going to be really competent. I really think that Robert Saleh put together a great coaching tree. I think Zach Wilson's going to a great situation. Corey Davis, all this it's part of my argument of long-term. So because he's just playing this preseason squad, obviously, I think when you give him all of his weapons, he already has a great left tackle. I love Zach Wilson, and I think that, his first game was a really good showing of what you're going to be able to see in the future when he's getting every rep at the game and not just a fourth of it or like a fifth damn near.
5 seconds to spare.
Well, all right. I'm ready whenever, Dylan.
I'm on you.
Oh, you're right. My bad. So I'm going to go Justin Fields, obviously, because that's who I watched the most. I think Mac Jones definitely had a good preseason game. It's just such a Mac Jones stat line. I mean, like, the game with the Jets and the Giants was 7-12. Like 7-12 against second team. Like the Giants defense is like good, but like the second team, or like, to me, the Giants are not like a depth team. So let's get back right into Justin Fields. Shaky at first. Sure. It's preseason. This is first time NFL snaps. But the calmness that he displayed and the progression he displayed throughout the game and the explosiveness, and he just looked so comfortable out there. Like, it just, to me, it just gave me such like high hopes for him. And like, didn't watch a ton of Zach Wilson, but like, I don't know. It's the Giants. The Dolphins have a really good defense, and they definitely have depth.
4 seconds to spare. Dobbs.
All right, so I'm gonna keep my rebuttal short because this is all I gotta say. All I gotta say for this one, Hunter. I agree, but you gotta remember Zach Wilson was only out there like 2 series. So if my boy was out there getting the reps that Justin Fields was getting, I think he would have put a touchdown or more on the board. He didn't have the control over it. He was the other quarterbacks on the Jets. I'm sorry, forgive me, Jets fans, but if Zach Wilson gets injured, you probably shouldn't put too much stock into the season. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So,
I mean, okay, go ahead. My bad.
What?
I'm ready whenever. So basically, in my opinion, it's just like, okay, he played those two. I just think coming from BYU and playing like that little in a preseason with those 2 drives, I don't think it's a fair assessment to be like, yeah, I'm the most comfortable with him. Just because you said those 2 drives, you saw the level of competition he played. I don't know. I wouldn't, if he's only doing 2 drives and it's his first couple NFL snaps, I can't personally. I'm going to put my belief behind the person who had more snaps and had 2 touchdowns. I don't know.
At the buzzer.
This wasn't like a heated debate. Like, I wanted it to be like more heated.
No.
But I wasn't really like,
they didn't give us enough reps. They didn't give us enough reps for us to get heated.
Well, there wasn't also like there's just not like there wasn't really like any aggressive points made. Like, it's just kind of what it is. We
didn't have an aggressive. Yeah, we didn't have like an aggressive debate this week. There's like, you can't put any emotion into this.
I just like I don't like I can't get
like,
mad at Dobbs.
Justin Fields this preseason sucked.
Can you imagine?
I only want to upset Dylan.
Why?
You got to go against Dylan next week again, then.
Yeah, we always do. But Connor is back this week. He's not cooking, so he's going to give us our crazy stat of the week before we wrap up the show.
Oh, it's about to get turned. Let's see if I can hit.
Dobbs has been on. Dobbs has gotten the last 3 right.
And you got 1.
Holy shit!
I got 1 last week too.
All right. Let's see how crazy we can get here. So we got
Damn,
There
we're about to
are-
get crazy.
there are 3 players that are tied for the league lead in forced fumbles for one season. There are 3
Okay.
players all tied with 10 forced fumbles in one season, and they happened in 2010, 2012, and 2013. Name one of these 3 players.
I got mine.
I bet you do. Hold on that
Dob-
one.
Dobbs was like meditating for the answer.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just check what
He's
you're
doing
doing.
the Jimmy Neutron.
I'm gonna
Fucking
guess,
going
but
into
my
his
shit's gonna
head.
be. My
Can I
shit's
say
gonna
mine
be
or
wrong.
no?
Go ahead.
Hold on. Wait. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No,
I already
no,
know.
same
I already
person.
know
No, not
mine's
yet.
right.
We're gonna have the same person.
hope it is.
He
I
was.
hope
I,
it
I
is.
swear to
That's
God,
why
I
I'm
didn't
putting
check.
it
I
down.
didn't check his stat. I just checked his age when he was a rookie. I'm definitely gonna go with Patrick Willis being one of them.
No. That's not right. Okay.
Damn.
Hunter,
I thought you were
No,
supposed
I'm
to
gonna-
wait.
Is it Navarro?
No.
Stop
Damn.
guessing.
How is it
I
not?
want to go last. I want to go
I
last.
know. Niners
I
boys
think
didn't
Dylan's
have
gonna
no-
have it. I think
I
Dylan's
don't-
gonna have it.
This is tough. I'm gonna say I believe me, this is gonna be really wrong.
Oh, well, yeah,
but Julius Peppers.
Fuck, I know who Dylan's
No.
gonna say. I know exactly who Dylan's
All
gonna
right,
say.
Dylan, say it.
Peanut Tillman, let's go.
Peanut Tillman.
Let's
He's one of
go.
them.
Yeah, no,
He's
he
one
used
of
to be.
them.
He used to
That
be
was like
ripping the
prime
ball
Peanut
away like
Tillman in 2010.
nothing.
The peanut punch, bro. He was punching that bitch out.
He was the best I've ever seen
Facts.
it. He needs his own like move in fucking Madden. They need like he needs like his own
He
ability.
needs an
The
animation.
peanut punch. The
He
peanut
needs an
punch.
animation.
Hey EA, if you're hearing this, the peanut punch superstar ability. Now we're on to something.
That would be
The-
wild.
We are on to
The-
something.
The other
No,
two
they won't do it
players-
because they hate the Bears.
They don't do it because
That
they
was
hate. They won't do it because
10
they hate us, Hunter. They fucking hate their audience. They hate us. So they're not doing shit for us.
Who are the other 2 players, Connor?
All right. It was Robert Mathis on the Colts,
Okay.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
OC Umenyiora on the Giants.
Oh my
hell
Usi
yeah.
Umenyiora?
God.
I don't think
Yeah.
I said that right, but
No,
yeah.
you
I
didn't.
would have honestly, bro. I would have never guessed
That was like
Mathis, and I knew
him
he
and
was.
Michael Strahan like were together.
Mm-hmm.
I would have
Robert
never
Mathis,
guessed
I
Mathis.
thought like that was pretty interesting.
He did used to be
Mathis?
stripping the ball and punching it though. He was really like, I mean, so I can. He got the 10 sacks a season where he was just like punching the shit out the ball. Like, I can totally
Right.
see that.
Mathis was so fire, but like also just like a player that like I don't know. I just never like paid attention to
Forgettable.
him, but he was always so good.
I'm repping the
Who was
Colts
it?
today.
Who was it that the Colts said is going to be the Robert Mathis 2.0? Who was their second round pick that they took? Let me go back.
Oh, Quiddy Pay,
Oh, yeah.
right?
yeah,
They're
no,
really
it was,
excited about him.
They were no, because it would no,
No, it
wasn't
was
even-
someone else.
Yeah, it was someone else, bro. They said because they didn't compare Quiddy Pay was the guy they compared to their who was okay. So I'm having a blank right here. Connor, who was their other edge at the
Ugh.
time that was really really good? It was Matt
Like,
Freeney. So
recently?
they said
Oh,
Quiddy Pay is like
Freeney.
Freeney, and they said the other
Oh.
dude they drafted reminds them of Mathis. So let
I'm
me.
gonna fucking
They literally
pull
said that's
this
what
up.
they
Yeah,
said. That's
what
what
the
they're
hell?
trying to recreate. So let me check the
Um,
Colts draft one more time. Because where when I see it, I'll remember it.
Why did it give me the Colts?
Okay, yeah.
roster?
So
I'm on the page right
Deo
now.
Odebayo. That's who they said. They said that's who there's going to be the Robert.
The guy
Mathis
from
2.0.
Vanderbilt. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
He's a little bit of a bigger edge. You know, I can kind of see that.
He's got great size. Like he's like he has the perfect build to play in. Like he's going to be great in a 4-3. The Colts are
Well-
onto something with this draft class.
That is our show this week. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate all your support. Everything helps. So if you guys like the show, please subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know who you think had the best or is going to be the best rookie quarterback from this year. We'll be back next week. We'll get everything clipped. Thank you guys for your support. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Y'all ready for this?